So now we're moving from 7 minutes per mile to 6:30 per mile, just crashing right through that 3-hour barrier for the marathon, working towards 250. 6:30 on the nose is about 251. So might give it a margin of error, but you need to know what it's like, or what you need to do to get from each milestone. That's why I'm doing this series in every 30-second increments, so you know the type of progression in runs and paces and workouts and stuff to help you continue going on, because it's very hard to just go from 4 hours to 3 hours. Okay, a lot of times at marathon, you have to be as precise as possible. So knowing the right paces and runs and things like that are very, very important. Okay, so I'm speaking from a lot of experience. I've used these programs on a lot of my athletes with individualized pieces to the training, of course, and that applies for everybody too. Whether you're an athlete or a coach, there's individualized components to everybody's training that need to be considered or incorporated so that everybody's kind of progressing at their own rate. And if you give a same training program to 10 people, all 10 are going to respond differently to it. So it's important to know these things. But at the very least, I want to go over the paces. I'm going to take you over to the whiteboard in a second. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. If you like fully detailed training programs from an experienced coach, this channel is definitely for you. I'm a USATF certified coach. I've competed at the high school, college, and post-college level. I've also coached at all 3 levels as well. And I want to share as much content as I possibly can. And I have training programs from half mile all the way up to the marathon on this channel. Workouts galore, all types of stuff. I'm also a Wharton trained and certified active isolated flexibility technician too. So I'm here to keep you healthy and help you run fast. So I know I say that a lot, but I want to keep repeating it, especially if you're new to the channel. So let's take you over to the whiteboard. Let's go into details here, and you'll see what we've got. Okay, if you look at the videos in this series, every 2 videos I make a modification to the whiteboard, add a different component to the training, or you see a progression and add a distance or workout or something, so you know kind of how to move forward. And it gives you options, because like I said, in terms of individualized components, you may have athletes who respond better to moderate mileage versus high mileage, moderate workouts versus high volume workouts, or vice versa. Okay, or some folks that might need more speed development in their training, because that complements the aerobic stuff too. Just because you're training for the marathon doesn't mean everything has to be a long, slow-paced workout, okay? And just because you're training for the 800 meters doesn't mean everything has to be short and fast, okay? So it's something to keep in mind. Yes, it's heavily weighted on that side, but there's so many important ingredients to training and development, and they all need to be factored in, and they all need to be kind of worked in sync with each other. So I want to take you through this, okay? So the first 2, I've talked about this like ad nausea, but it's so important, speed development, okay? First one is hill sprints. And you'll see I've been progressing from 100 meters, I'm working right all the way up to 300 meters now, okay? So the hills get longer as you get faster and fitter. So here it's 200 to 300 meters for hill repeats, okay? You're staying upright, attacking the hill, pumping your arms, lifting your legs, leaning into it, but still staying upright, okay? If you can do it on a softer surface, that's perfect. It's a great way of preparing you and building leg strength and leg speed in a non-invasive way to help you develop speed and efficiency. Whether you're racing or training on the flats or on the hills, it doesn't matter. Hill repeats are important, very important, okay? So here you're building towards 8 to 10 reps. Okay, this is something you can do every week or every other week, but once they get this long, maybe every other week, okay? Building towards 8 to 10 reps. And again, jog, walk down, a little bit of both. Nice to make sure you fully recover and you go right back up. And again, this could be a workout itself. You can complement it with a little bit of tempo running on the first side or on the other side, or bookending it with a tempo rep on each side. It complements training in a lot of different ways. And again, not every workout needs to be long, okay? So, but again, it's an important component that should not be ignored. Now, on the flip side, we're going to take the speed development to the flats now, or it'll slightly rolling. A speed fartlek, okay? This is more of a continuous run, okay? And in this case, you're building towards 18 to 20 reps of 1 minute hard and 1 minute easy. So the whole entire thing is 36 to 40 minutes of continuous running, half of which is hard, half of which is just easy recovery running. And that's sandwiched in between a warm-up and a cool-down and whatever you incorporate in between, okay? But here, you're looking at maybe progression from 10K pace down to 5K pace, or 5K pace down to 3K pace for these runs. So it's going to be at least a minute faster per mile. So if you're looking to run 6:30 per mile for the marathon, this stuff should be at about 5:30 per mile, something like that. Or right around that ballpark. Since they're 1 minute runs, you should be able to recover relatively easy. And simulate. If you're training for a rolling marathon, try to simulate this in a rolling area if you can. If it's flat, simulate it on the flat. And if you can get on soft surfaces, even better. It's just much more forgiving on the legs, particularly when you're running hard, okay, or fast. So, two complements to each other. Both are extremely underrated and extremely important. And the next complement is a semi-long run. Again, this is basically building towards 60 to 75% of what an actual long run is. Okay, what you're building towards for the long run. In this case, let's say we're at 11 to 12 miles. You've seen a progression here too. Some folks might not be able to handle that much. Some folks might be able to handle a little bit more. But the idea is to teach you how to be on your feet for an extended period of time. More than once per week or more than once every 14 days, because that's exactly what the marathon is about. So these runs are more about time than distance, okay? So you can go to easy pace or easy to progression or progressively faster pace. You can be used as a workout as well. So, and there's no rule of thumb saying you need 1 or 2 workouts or 3 workouts per week. It's what suits you best. It's what suits your athletes best based on lifestyle, work, school, how much work they're willing, how much time they're willing to devote to the training. All these things have to be taken into consideration so you can draw up training for people if you're a coach. Okay? So semi-long run's number 3. Now we're doing some repeats. This is VO2 max running, okay? 1,200 meter repeats here. And if you look at the other videos, I've gone from 800 to thousands. We've kind of gradually built this up. And I'll eventually build it up to mile repeats as well. So 1,200 meter repeats. This should actually be 4 minutes recovery. So that's my apologies there. It's 4 minutes recovery, not 3. If you can get to the point where you can do 3, even better. That's as you get much fitter. But let's stick with 4 minutes for starters. You're progressing. This is a workout you do 4 times. Okay? First time you do 5 reps, and then 6 reps, and then 7 reps, and then 8 reps. All at the same pace. So instead of repeating the workout and going faster, you're just doing more volume at this particular pace. Okay? And this is 416 to 413 per rep. That's the goal to run these reps. So if you calculate it out, it comes, you're looking at a 540 per mile or somewhere around there, or a little bit faster than that. So it's almost a minute, 50 to 60 seconds slower, faster per mile than goal marathon pace. Okay, and again, adding more volume at that pace. So it's a good VO2 max session. Okay, and that complements the speed development, which complements the semi-long run, which complement the long run. They all complement each other. Okay, they're all pieces of the puzzle. All right, so 1,200 meter repeats. And then lastly is the long run, one of the key workouts and key runs we're building towards. Now, there's a lot of ways of doing it, and they're all important, okay? You first of all, you're building towards 20 miles, in some cases 20 plus, if you can handle it, okay? The last one should be about 3 to 4 weeks out from the goal race, the last 20 miler. At that point, I also encourage folks, if you're fit enough and your athletes are fit enough to do a 20-mile run with 10 of the miles at goal marathon pace. And preferably the last 10 miles of the 20-mile run. So you know what it feels like running that pace towards the end of it instead of at the beginning or in the middle. Okay. You can also do a progression from 8 minutes to 6:30 per mile. It's about 90 seconds slower per mile, building towards marathon pace. Okay, that's another way to do it. Or 90 to 95%, this is more of a kind of a steady run. In this case, it's 7:45 to 7:15 per mile. So it's 45 seconds to 75 seconds slower per mile than goal marathon pace. Is another way to do it. Okay. And then, just different emphasis here. As long as you're getting to the point where you can run 10 miles at goal marathon pace within a workout, that's a good thing, even if you add a warm-up and a cool-down. If you can do it in a long run, even better. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. But at this point, if you can do 10 miles at goal marathon pace, and even if you repeat it, let's say you work out 3 times, the next time you do 5 to 10 seconds faster per mile, and after that you do 15 to 20 seconds faster per mile than goal marathon pace. So whatever it is, you start slower, then you run then you run a little bit faster. But doing the workout 3 times is a nice way of showing progression as well. And again, since it's a marathon, running that pace for an extended period of time is very, very important. Okay? So those are the different variations of the long run. We've got speed development on the hills and the flats. Okay, we've got a semi-long run to kind of complement the long run, and we've got some VO2 max running. Take a look at the other videos. You'll see other types of things. You'll see 1,000 meters. You'll see other types of speed development on the flats. You see a bunch of different things, okay? Progression runs are very important too. But these things, at these paces, okay, will help you get to 6:30 per mile, 2:51 for the marathon. So that's the goal here. And look at the videos, and you see the progression from every increment to the next increment. So the next thing I'm going to talk about how to build from this to 6 minutes per mile, which is about 2:37 or 2:38 for the marathon. So, or 2:37:30, or right around that ballpark. So you need to know what it's like and how to cut those extra 30 seconds per mile off over time. Important, very, very important. So that's why I'm kind of breaking it down in the progression. But I also done a half marathon series. I've done 10K and 5K. take a look in the description. Fully detailed training programs to go with it. And I'll put fully detailed marathon programs so you know how to plug this stuff in, or you at least have something you can look at and figure out where you'd like to plug stuff in. So, and again, it depends on yourself, whether you're training or your athletes, whether they're doing the training, and how you structure their marathon training. That's more ideal for them. So, hope you found this helpful. If you did, hit the thumbs up. And again, please share this with other coaches and athletes in the running community. I want to help as many people as possible. So I want to make this into one of the best running channels out there and give as much detail as important. And I also say this ad nauseum because it's true. I don't care whether you're a 40-minute 5K runner or 14. You deserve access to as much content as possible. And I want to make sure that if I have it, you get it. Okay? So, and that's the bottom line. I want everybody to get better, or anybody that watches my videos to find something to help them get better. That's my goal with this channel. So, I appreciate you watching. Talk to you next time.